Welcome everybody! Let me turn my camera off for a minute so I don't frighten you immediately.
Thank you so much for the introductions and this opportunity here today.
I'm delighted to be here, everybody. I just want a couple of things before I get started. I want to congratulate you, first and foremost. Now you might wonder why I'm doing that at the start of a presentation. Well, it's because, I'll get my camera on by the way in a moment. It's because you're doing the most valuable thing you can do in the world right now, and that is adding more value to you. And you do it by shortcutting the system, by listening to this wisdom which is literally being delivered, hand delivered to you right now in your home. So excited for you all. Now, as for me, why am I here? I am here today to make a significant difference in your life. It doesn't matter if you don't like social media. It doesn't matter if you don't have a business. It doesn't matter if you don't have products. It doesn't matter if you don't have services. I am here to show you how to rethink social media and how to use the technology you already have at hand to turn it into a full-time earnings from just a part-time work. So who's excited? Type into the chat you're excited if you are excited to hear this training, because I certainly am excited to deliver it right now. Thank you again, Brian, Gerard, and everybody behind the scenes. Let me get my camera on here. Wow, look at all those exciteds. Fantastic. Okay, let me get my camera on just 1 second and I'll formally kick it off. Can you all please type into the chat, hello, good evening, good morning, good night, depending on where you are in the world. And please also type in the chat where you are in the world. Right? Even if you've never heard of me before, please just give me 5 minutes of your time, because even if you haven't heard of me, even if you're not the greatest fan of social media, just give me 5 minutes and let's see, can I encourage you to listen to this, because I can assure you, despite some reservations you might have about social media and the internet, that this is going to be time incredibly well spent. So, okay, wow, we got people from all over the globe here. So I'm so excited to have you all here. Welcome everybody. Let's just jump in right away, because I'm very, very excited to share this training with you. And I have a question for you to get started. Type in 1 in the chat, the number 1, if it's difficult for you at the moment to make money on the internet. Just type in 1 if that's the case. And I'm just looking at the chat over here, in case you're wondering why I'm looking to my right. Okay, wow, literally hundreds of ones instantly. Amazing. Okay, so lots of you saying it's not easy for you to make money online. Okay, now type into the chat, once you've that done, how many days it is since you last purchased something via the internet. If it was today, type in 0. Yesterday, type in 1. If it was 2 days ago, type in 2, etc. Well, that's interesting. We've got 3, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, an hour, 20, 1, 1 month, 0, today, yesterday, 0, 0, 1, right? Okay. Here is the great news. You know what that means? It means you are already an expert at making money online for other people. All right? That's the problem. You know how to make money online already. You're a professional at it. However, you're making it for others. Who would like to know how to start making it for you rather than somebody else? Type in me into the chat if you would love to know how to start learning how to do it for yourself rather than somebody else, right? Okay, wow. Well, you guys, I can assure you, you are in the right place. And let me explain why, because I am here to share with you why this device, the smartphone, of which there are 5.5 billion on the planet, 5.5 billion of them, why this is the biggest addiction of humankind. But nobody seems to talk about that. And the thing is, it is the biggest sucker of your time. It is the biggest sucker of your money. But at the same time, it could become your #1 asset and worth its weight in gold to you, right? Who's ready to learn how to turn this addiction from being a negative to being a positive, from being something that takes money from you to giving you money? Think about it. Type in guilty into the chat right now. Type in guilty if you have one of these devices within 12 inches of your hand right now. Type in guilty as charged. I'm guilty, forgive me, right? Some of you are watching me on your phone right now, right? What do we do in the morning? Our phone wakes us up. We carry it around with us in our handbags, and that's just the men, right? We bring it into the bathroom where nothing or nobody is welcome. And what do we do at nighttime? We get down on our knees, not to pray anymore. We get down looking for our charger, because the last thing we want to do in the morning is start our day with a phone that has only 10 or 11% charge. That's our idea of a living nightmare. We couldn't care less if our partner is charged in the morning, but we absolutely care if our phone is not fully charged and ready to go, right? That's the world we live in today, and because it's so normal, we have stopped seeing the insanity in it. But here's the amazing news. That means for the first time since human history, you have the possibility, sitting from home with this device, to get in front of 5.5 billion people. The question is, how? Who's ready to learn? Type in me, I am ready. Let's do this. Let's do this. Right. And by the way, we're going to have so much fun along the way. We're going to enjoy this. You are actually going to be laughing out loud. Right. And there's a real reason behind that, because when you're entertained, when you're enjoying things, you remember things better. And of course, the reason you're on these devices in the first place is you're reaching out for entertainment. OK, so let's combine the two. And I don't want to start off by getting your back up, but I share this with you with love to show you, look.
If we just go into one of our websites towards the end of 2021, November, over 120,000, October, almost 200,000.
And let's get the camera back on here. How many of you would like to have a single website that in May made $246,000, April 78,000, March 428,000, February 174,000, January 188,000. Last 7 days in this account, 204,000. The last 4 weeks, 550,000. This is US dollars. The last 12 months, 1.6 million. A separate account here. Last 4 weeks, $71,000. Last 12 months, 2.1 million. I'm showing this to show to you that this is worth getting excited about. That real numbers, real money is to be made out there. You just got to learn, how do you do this? And you are in the right place. And by the way, in case you're wondering, from a COVID perspective, right? Well, did COVID affect this? Well, let's go back to the middle of COVID in 2020, right? You've got July, 232,000, June, 240,000, May, 578,000, April, 493,000, February, 329,000. It's like winning the lottery every month is how some people describe it. Except the best part, luck has nothing to do with this. You don't buy a ticket and hope for the best. We can create a plan, because I don't need to convince you today that the internet's only going to get bigger. I don't need to convince you today that there's never ever been more money spent on the internet than right now. You've never bought more things on the internet than you do now. But what I do need to convince you of today is that you can make a fortune on the internet. Of course you can. Because everybody else is putting their money in there, while very few people have learned how to take withdrawals. Most people use the internet like a bank. They put all of their money in there and put their deposits in there, but they're not willing to take withdrawals because they have a problem with it, and they call it a scam and it can't be right, etc., etc. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. But let's turn that all around today. By the way, I was one of those people. I was one of those skeptics, I can assure you. And if you're picking up on my accent, has anybody picked up on my accent yet? Anybody picked up on it? Right? I'm Irish, okay? And Irish people are the most skeptical people on the planet. If you don't believe me, it doesn't matter. I don't believe you anyway. We are that skeptical, right? So who is this for? Type in 1 if you have your own business. Type in 1 into the chat if you have your own business. You know you need to use social media. You know you could be doing a better job with social media. You know that whatever you're doing right now is probably not what you're enjoying, probably not getting you the response that you would expect. That's fine, but you are going to learn tons today. 2, type in 2 if you want to be an influencer. You want to be the type of person that stands out. You've no problem being in front of the camera. You've got a message to share. You've heard some amazing speakers over the past few months, over the past few weeks, and even over the past few days, and that inspires you to think, I'd love to do that. Right? You're the lunatics, right? You're kind of the crazy people, right? That a lot of people think, what is wrong with that type of person? But there's lots of you here, I'm sure, right? About 20% of you are going to fall into that category. Now, there's some of you here that are hanging on by your fingernails, maybe even your toenails. You're still thinking, will I stay to listen to this guy, right? you don't like social media. You think, what kind of idiots take pictures of themselves and take pictures of their dinner and post it online? What kind of people do this? What kind of people spend their lives looking at other people's lives? But if somehow you could make money without having business experience, without having to have your own products or services, and you could just make money on the side and nobody ever know it was you, you'd be all over this. Type in 3 if that sounds like you, because that's exactly how I get started, right? Here's the secret. I've even written the best-selling book about this, Rethink Social Media, and I don't even like it. Right there. I said it. I don't even like it. But that doesn't stop you from falling in love, right? Lots of you are married, right? And you know there's a difference between liking and loving, right? You don't have to like something in order to love what it can do for your business. We are here to rethink social media, not to use it the way everybody else does, but to use it in a way that is a very special methodology for you, that means you stop from going from wasting time to start earning money, regardless of your experience, regardless of what you know, what your thoughts are about online businesses. It means you can get started immediately. And it's a simple 4-step process. And by the way, I'm sure some of you are going to ask me about who I am and where I come from, etc. I'll talk about that later, but I want to jump right in now and get you clear on what this 4-step process is, to show you that it is simple, that it literally is step by step, but you just got to learn how to take those steps in the right order. Okay, so type in I'm with you. Type in I'm with you if you're still with me, guys. Type in I'm with you if you're with me on this journey. You think, okay, I'm still with, I haven't been lost yet. Okay, fantastic. Well, let's jump in and let's go and do this. Here it is. And by the way, grab your phone and take pictures of some of these slides, right? There's no problem. Take pictures of these slides, save it to your favorites on your phone. There will be specific ones I will tell you. Make sure you take a picture of this one. This isn't particularly one of those, but I will be telling you some of those as we go with you through this process today, because it's super important. So step 1 in our Rethink Social Media strategy, picking a niche or a niche where you are guaranteed for this to work. Right, the last thing we want to do is pick an area that makes it difficult for this to work. We're going to pick an area where it works every time. Once you've got a niche, once you've got a niche where you're certain that you're in an area that's going to work, the second step is finding the people who have those problems. And that's why we use social media, because it's full of people with problems. Then we invite people to a simple 1-page website which has a name called a squeeze page or an opt-in page or a landing page. It's all fancy terminology for the same thing. A simple page that's looking to get your name and email address. I'm sure you've seen them all before. That's how you ended up here today, right? And then the 4th step is, how do you make money from this, even if you don't have your own products and services? Because that bit I found difficult to wrap my head around. But once you go through this training, you're going to realize, okay, well, that's actually super easy. And then you're going to ask yourself, why isn't everybody else doing it? And then you're going to ask yourself, why do I care about everybody else? It's time I started doing this for myself. So let's start with niche and niche right now to focus on that. Let's pick an area that's absolutely guaranteed to work for you. As Zig Ziglar puts it, you can have everything in life you want if you would just help enough other people get what they want. They want. A critical focus when it comes to success is learn what others want and give it to them, and learn how to charge for that, right? Sometimes it can be easy to get distracted and follow your passion and focus on the thing that you believe is most important to you, but sometimes that doesn't earn you any money, as many of you I'm sure will have found out. The critical success, the critical factor in business is learn how to give other people what they want and you get paid for it. So you might say, well, Paul, that's a lot of stuff. Well, you can actually boil it down to 3 key areas that people will have across the globe. They want to be healthier, they want to be wealthier, and they want to be happier, right? We can land on any continent and they are pretty much a solid guarantee that most people want to be healthier, wealthier, and happier. Now, what's incredibly powerful about these areas is there's no one-size-fits-all tool. You cannot buy one tool, one pill, one solution, and that's it. You're healthy for life, wealthy for life, happy for life. These are actually addictive. The healthier you become, the more health you want. The wealthier you become, the more wealth you want, etc. So these become a series of opportunities for the business owner to constantly come out with new products and new services and new solutions to offer to these people, especially if you're not tied down to thinking, I need to create them, I need to serve, I need to produce the products, because that, in many cases, is what holds people back. You've probably heard the title of the book before called The Ego is the Enemy. And in business, that is so true. Get yourself out of the way and let the money flow. Let the money flow, right? So how do you do that? We start by picking one of these. So right now, make a decision at home, write it down in your notes, right? Write down which one of these would you like to focus on, because you've got to focus on one, right? It's like if you're learning how to drive a car, if you insist on learning how to drive 2 cars at once, it's going to be very uncomfortable, right? So pick your car. Which of these is it going to be? Okay. Now, once you've done that, picked an area where you're guaranteed. And by the way, the other thing about this is there are already hundreds of thousands of products that already exist, and people are spending millions of dollars every hour in these areas online. The online education space is worth over $500 billion already. It's absolutely incredible how much money is to be made out there. So once you pick one of these areas guaranteed to work, now we move on to social media. The key with social media is you open it up with a clear intention of knowing what to do. That's the opposite of the planet. Everyone else, what do? They go into social media to literally enter a world of distraction. They don't know what to expect. They're going to scroll up and scroll down and laugh at this and cry at that. We're the opposite. We will be the producer rather than the consumer. Okay? So why do we use social media? Because that's where people hang out, right? That's where the people are. And ultimately, that's where the money is, wherever people are. So we got to focus on helping people, help people get what they want. And if you've ever been on social media, I'm sure you have, you'll see it's full of people with problems. So let me break this down for you in simple terms so you understand it, right? I've got 3 people here above me, the guy with the blue jigsaw puzzle, red jigsaw puzzle, and green jigsaw puzzle. Now, this is why I love this business model so much, because not only does it work today and has it worked for the past 10 years, 20 years, it's going to work for the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, for all of our lifetimes. And how can I say that with such assuredness? Well, in a world where we're told that everything is going to change, what have I told you? That's not true. Everything doesn't change, in fact. And if you're going to get into business and you want certainty and you want to take away financial pressure and financial insecurity and financial anxiety and all the worries that we have going into this world post-COVID or wherever we are with COVID, who really knows anymore, right? We need certainty, not uncertainty. So this model is built around 2 key foundations that are never going to change, at least in our lifetimes. And the first one is this: people will never stop having problems. Ever, right? Type in yes if you agree that people are never going to stop having problems. It's so obvious, it almost doesn't need to be said. But you know what? These things do need to be said, right? People will never stop having problems. As long as they're above the earth, they won't ever stop having problems. So that's the first part of our model here, is we're going to solve problems for people. And the person with the green jigsaw puzzle here, this side, that's a regular person with regular problems. Now, the other thing we're absolutely certain of with most people is that even before they earn their money, they already have a plan on how to get rid of it. Type in guilty if that's something you could be accused of in the past, that even before your money arrives in your bank account, you have a clear plan on how to get rid of it. In fact, in case you forget to spend it, you automate the process, right? Just some of you, if you got hit by a bus, the money is still coming out of the bank account. Credit cards, debit cards, mortgages, the money comes out on autopilot. I've never seen anything in life that people are as disciplined on. Not their health, not their wealth, not their relationships, as they are in getting rid of their money. So much so that they actually automate the process with the bank to make sure, in case they forget, that money disappears, right? And that's the madness of this. Because the moment we start to see this, we start to think, oh, okay, all right. People are guaranteed to spend their money and people are guaranteed to have problems. So let's look at this. How do we work around it? Well, on the right-hand side, just above my head, is this guy with the blue jigsaw puzzle. This is an entrepreneur, a business owner. One of my favorite quotations about business owners is from the movie, or from the lady Laurie Greiner, who is in the movie Joy that was out a few years ago. And she says, entrepreneurs are the only people I know who work 80 hours a week. to avoid a 40-hour-a-week job. Type in ouch if that hurts. If you're an entrepreneur and you think, oh my God, that's so true. I'm working twice as long for half the money, right? And none of the appreciation, right? You become an entrepreneur because I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to see my kids all the time. I'm going to be with my partner. Then you realize I literally have the opposite, right? How did it all go wrong? Well, that's why I'm so pleased that you are here, because did you know that 96% of entrepreneurs go out of business? 96%. And these people are smart. They went to college. They've got degrees. They've got masters in business, and they have a 4% chance of success. Nobody seems to think that this is the biggest scam of all time, that people go to school and college and learn how to have a 96% chance of failure. It's strange that nobody talks about that, but that's the reality of business in today's world with traditional methodologies on business. But the good news is I'm not here to teach you how to have a 4% chance of success. That's what college is for. I'm here to show you how to have a 100% chance every single time of winning. How do you do that? By becoming the matchmaker. Position yourself in the middle. Introduce the best products from the best businesses to the people that are looking for those products. Get out of the way. Let the money flow through you rather than putting moats and dikes around you where you insist that things have to happen this way for this thing and this money to come into my account, right? The products that can make you wealthy, right? They're already there. You don't have to come up with it, right? And this will work today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Why? Because there will always be new products. The products that will make you wealthy, some of them don't even exist yet. Now, some of you might find that difficult to live with, but only for 20 seconds, because the moment you understand what that means, that's the beauty of this business. The products that will make you wealthy possibly don't even exist yet. Why? Well, let's say it takes you 3 months to set up your internet business, 3 months, right? What products do you think people will want to buy in 3 months' time, anybody? Do you think they'll want to buy today's best-selling products or the products that are the best-selling products in 3 months? What do you think? It's obvious. They're going to want to buy what's out in 3 months, not the ones that are out now. So we don't need to worry about what's going to be out in 3 months. The moment you take your ego out of the way, you've got nothing to do with it. Let somebody else come up with that great idea. Let smarter people come up with that idea. And then you are the smartest of all by saying, well, you know what? I will just sell that to the people who are looking for it. And in case you're thinking, holy crap, why have I not heard this before? Well, you actually have. And the other thing you might ask is, but if it's this great, Paul, why isn't everybody else doing it? Well, let's not worry about everybody else, because did you know 99.6% of people on the planet, 99.6 are not millionaires, right? That's a bit of a shock. But isn't it weird that the first question that we ask ourselves when we see something amazing is, why aren't all the broke people doing this if it works? If this is so great, why aren't broke people doing it? Right? It's a really weird question, but when you ask it often enough, you don't even realize how ridiculous the question is, right? The question should be, of course, but hang on a second. If this is so good, prove it to me with some really wealthy people. In fact, let's do it with some of the wealthiest companies in the world. Uber, the world's largest taxi company, doesn't own any taxis. Facebook, the world's largest content sharer, doesn't create any. Alibaba, the world's largest store, doesn't have any inventory. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, doesn't own any real estate. Booking.com, Hotels.com, Expedia.com, Trivago.com, they don't own any hotels. They've never even been to the hotels. They've never made a bed. They've never made breakfasts. Amazon, they don't write books. That's hard. They sell other people's books. eBay, they don't create products. They sell other people's products. Banks, they don't print money. They take money off the person that's uncomfortable with it at the front of the line, and they give it to the person second in the line and charge interest to keep that person interested in coming back. Type in aha or light bulb if you just had a mini light bulb moment and went, what has been happening in front of my eyes? None of these businesses do what normal businesses do, but they're still the biggest businesses in the world, right? They're even now creating, like Amazon Prime Day. They're creating their own days in the map, in the calendar, right? It's incredible. But do you know what's better than that? You can sell any of their stuff. You can sell any holidays on booking.com and make money. You can sell anything that you would buy on Amazon today. You can sell it. Like literally, if you were to buy my book on Amazon, why bother? Why don't you sell my book on Amazon or anybody else's book on Amazon or any of their stuff that's on Amazon? Right? It's the reason we don't do it is because we're surrounded by people who don't do it. And anytime you're surrounded by people that don't do something, you're hesitant, you're resistant, you're nervous, you're curious, you're worried. The gremlins appear. Type in the word gremlins if you know what gremlins are. They appear at the back of your mind constantly, trying to pull you back when you're about to, right? I am going to guarantee you those gremlins are going to make some appearances before we finish today, right? But they're healthy, but the problem with them is they're there to keep you safe, but they're there to keep you in your comfort zone. You have to move beyond your comfort zone if you want to get out of your income zone, right? So it's just to show to you, let's stop asking why are broke people not doing things that make them money. Let's ask a better question. What are wealthy organizations doing that we can possibly start doing ourselves literally today? Well, and that's exactly what I want to share with you. And this, to be honest, is the biggest resistance and the biggest issue that most of us have. We genuinely believe that for some reason, the internet is a scam, right? We just kind of believe that's the case, right? That's exactly how I started. That's how most people are when they begin. They think, yeah, but we all know, right? Yeah, but we all know the internet's a scam. Even though it's the first place we go with our money now. Here, internet, take my money, right? But we have a major problem with, hey, internet, give me some money back. Type into the chat, give me some money back. Type it in, let the internet know that you're here for a relationship, right? It's not all give, it's got to be give and take. So come on, internet, I want to do some taking rather than just the giving, right? It's about a mindset shift. And then ask yourself, well, who told you it was a scam? Somebody that spends their money on the internet. Everyone else is putting their money onto the internet and telling you, don't touch it, don't go near my money. When you actually should be thinking, hang on a second, what exactly? Give me some of my money back, huh? And that's the beauty of it. You can do it by selling the stuff that people are already buying, including yourself. You add in COVID, you add like, what has that done? It's just brought more people online. As I said at the start, there's never been more people buying stuff online. There's never been more stuff bought online. And then we think the internet's a scam, which by the way is good news, because that means most people, let me just go back a slide. The good news here is that most people think the internet is a complete scam. Good. Why is it good? Because it means there's less people in this space than there should be. However, COVID has changed this, because only a few months ago, people used to think the idea of sitting at home in front of a computer making money was just ridiculous, that it had to be a scam. Now, what do you think many people are doing across the world? They're sitting at home in front of a computer making money. The only difference is they're being paid by a boss. Now they're starting to ask, well, hang on, maybe I could be the boss rather than somebody else paying me. So suddenly it doesn't seem so crazy. Suddenly it seems like, oh, this could be possible. And especially when we compare it to what the norm is. Going to college, doing all of these things. Now, I'm not anti-college, but I do want to point out the alternative when people think internet is so bad. This number that's above my head is $1.6 trillion. That's trillion with a T. That's 1,000 billion. This is $1.6 trillion. What is this? Well, it's the US government's #1 asset. Okay, great. But what does that mean? It's the outstanding student loan debt. Outstanding student loan debt in one country alone, the US. Isn't that odd? Look how much it is to go to university in the US right now. $37,000 for an average college per year. $48,000 per year for one of the Ivy League type colleges. The average cost per year, $37,000. The average person globally spends $600,000 on interest on debt in a lifetime. The only loan you cannot declare bankruptcy on ever is a college loan. The average doctor doesn't pay back their college loan until they're in their mid-50s. I'm willing to guess that some of you have woken up in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, or even your 60s, and you're thinking, Is this it? Is this the dream? Is this what I've been doing my whole life to end up in this? Like, really? Ungrateful kids, ungrateful partner, stressed about money constantly, but I did everything. I ticked all the boxes, right? And that's the irony, that the people around us tell us don't chance anything, when ultimately you've done everything what you were supposed to, but you're not happy. But I want to applaud you, because I'm willing to bet that you're the weirdo in your family. Some of you have even had to tell a little white lie that you're watching this right now. You've had to say something else, right? You've had to say, I'm watching Netflix. I'm catching up on Ozark. I haven't seen that in a while. Because you're almost afraid to tell people that, God help us, imagine if you wanted to better yourself. What? What's wrong with you? You want to better yourself? Oh, why aren't you ever happy? You're never grateful. You're always talking about money. You're always like miserable because you want something more for yourself. Oh, you're always into this personal development. Oh, it's such a con. What's wrong with you? Come on. Like, do you realize there's people that are starving in the world and you're just not happy, right? And you're suddenly being ostracized by the people around you because they're too lazy to do what it is that you want to do. You're born to get more, be more, do more, have more, resonate more, help more, make an impact, make a dent on the universe, right? But you almost feel afraid to talk about this. Right? Wow, look at the chat. People are going crazy in the chat, right? And you are absolutely right to do that. That is what you're on the planet to do. It's our educational system that, remember us as children, look at your 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, asking questions full of vibrancy, full of excitement. And then they go to school and we're told, fold your arms, cover your mouth, don't ask a question. Don't question us. In fact, we'll reward you if you can remember what we said the best, you'll get an A. If you're not good at repeating what we said, you'll get a D. And that's what we call education. Now we've got Google. Nobody needs to remember anything, but the education system hasn't caught up. But there's no point getting frustrated or annoyed about any of this, because you can fix your life. And it starts today. Literally, you just need to make a decision and say, enough, I'm sick of it. This has got to change. And it starts with me. And that's the most important thing. It does start with me. It starts with you. We are... And if you ever needed proof, think about this. Think about a 5-year-old that you know. And then think about a 25-year-old that you know. Right? A 5-year-old and a 25-year-old. Of the two, I don't care where you live in the world, who is financially better off? The 5-year-old or the 25-year-old? Who is financially better off? The 5-year-old. They're not in debt. Right? It makes no sense. Right? As soon as you hit 18, 19 in our society, it's time to go backwards financially so that someday in your 50s, you might catch up with where you were as a 17-year-old. And because enough of us do it, we just think it's normal. The problem is when you live in a madhouse and you're surrounded by crazy people, nobody thinks they're insane, right? You measure your sanity by the sanity of those around you. Okay? So think about that. Mortgage. The word mortgage comes from the Latin word mortir, meaning death. Mortgage literally means acquiring debt until death. You can see why mortgage brokers are so happy that people don't understand Latin anymore. Hey, would you like to get some debt until death? I've got lots of it. You'd question it a little bit. Hey, what? What did you just say? Oh, sorry. I meant a mortgage. Apologies. I accidentally translated Latin to English there for a moment, right? But it's so true. That's what we see as success in life, going backwards financially because everybody else does it. That's the challenge. But no more of the bad stuff. It's all about the good stuff. How do we change it? Online, you build an email list or a database. You decide how much money you want to make, and I tell you exactly what you need to do to go and do that. How? It's as simple as this. The simplest equation you'll have ever learned, even in school. On average, you will make $1 per email address of the people on your list per month. Okay? $1 per person per month. And I want you to get excited about this. It's depressing when you look around, but you know what's even more depressing? Staying there. What gets exciting is when you realize people don't know this. It's actually a light bulb moment when you hear this, right? Hence why I say rethink, because both my parents were teachers, both of them. Imagine that. on your way home from school every day, walking home, and you decide, why am I walking home? There's 2 more teachers waiting for me, right? So this has been bred into me, right, since I was this size. So that's why it's so important, I feel, for me to come from the other side now and say, guys, wake up, right? It's not that I feel negative about any of the systems. Take decades to change. Individuals take seconds. That's why you should get excited, and why I get so freaking excited talking to you about this, and why sharing the stage with such amazing people, because we all ultimately have the same message. You're in control, right? But the problem is, you're in the driving seat with the steering wheel, and you've got your feet on the pedals, and you've never driven before. You need an instructor beside you to say, okay, turn left, turn right, touch the brake a little bit there. You're hitting the accelerator a bit fast, right? You're burning the gas a bit too quickly, right? So $1 per person on your list every month. Let's make sure you understand this. If you want to make $500 a month, how many people do you need their email addresses, everybody? If you want to make $500 a month, 500, beautiful. If you want to make $5,000 a month, how many people in your email list? 5,000, you got it, right? Some of you will say, well, I want $20,000 a month. That's fine. Build a list of 20,000 people. But suddenly we're not focusing on the money. We're focusing on something that we can do something about, building an email list. So let's look at how exciting this gets. If you make on average $1, let's say you spend $1 on a Facebook ad, which we'll talk about in a moment. You spend $1 on a Facebook ad to collect an email address. And you know you're going to make on average $1 per person per month. That means you spend $1 to make 12, right? That's 1,100% return on investment per year. 1,100%. How much money are you risking? $1. How many times can you do this? As often as you like. You can set up completely independent income streams all over the internet, learning one skill. And you're never going to have to wake up in the morning and worry, what happened last night? Did things go down? Did things go that way? Right? Did things go that way? Right? It's people act the same way all of the time, right? And that's the beauty of an online business. You just sell them what they're going to buy. How do you know what they're going to buy? You just see what they're buying the day before. They'll buy it the next day again. And if you turn $1 into 12, what are you going to do with your next dollar? $2 into 24, $10 into 120, and you grow your ad spend until you reach a peak point where it basically evens out. So let's say you're spending $100 a day, it's making you $1,200 a year. You think, beautiful, next one, next one, next one. As many independent income sources as you wish, over and over again. The most beautiful business model of all time, because it will always work. You never need to wonder about what you're going to sell, because there will always be new products, there will always be new services, and people will always have problems and always be spending their money. So in summary, social media is not about selfies for you. It's not about taking pictures of your kids and sharing them on the internet. It's about building an email list, and the money is made in private. We're not trying to annoy anybody. We're not trying to sell anything to them. We offer something for free in exchange for their contact details, right? Type in OMG. If you are starting to get this, you're starting to see, wow. Now, by the way, let's be clear. For those of you that are very technical, I'm painting the picture here. I'm painting the masterpiece. We're going to go in and we're going to look at the paint now. We're going to show you ads and Twitter ads and how to find the perfect people, right? I just want to make sure you know what the final masterpiece looks like before we go in with the paint. Otherwise, you end up with a mess, right? So I want to share a little bit about my backstory with you, just so you have an understanding of who this Irish guy is, who seems a little bit overly enthusiastic to be sharing this with you. But there's a reason, right? First of all, this is what I look like under the t-shirt, in case you were wondering. Oh, that's why I see all the OMGs. That makes sense. And big, oh my word there. Right? Well, not every day, maybe only after the gym. Well, look, I live this incredible life, and I want to say this with humility, right? Because I'm not living my dream. I did not even dream this big. I never even thought this was possible, right? I had a corporate job. I worked in it for 9 years, and I was doing exactly what I was supposed to do. Now I get to, in a COVID-free world, fly 130 times a year all over the world. And it's just absolutely incredible. I get to live half the year out of Ireland, half the year in Ireland. But the thing is, I very nearly didn't do any of this, because I thought if you were going to have an internet business, that you would need to be basically a geek. that you need to be technical, that you need to like social media, that you need business experience, that you need products, that you need services, that you needed to have a bank loan and be able to willing to take out a business loan. You don't need any of those things. I can assure you of that, because I didn't, right? And here's the thing. You may not even like the idea of sitting in front of a computer. And the beauty of it is, in today's world, you can outsource and get somebody else to do it for you. If you've got children, you can do what's called insourcing, right? Turn them into assets as opposed to liabilities, right? You can literally get somebody else to do this for you for $3 to $4 an hour. You train them up and they can do this for you, right? Absolutely incredible stuff. And then you can do what you wish. Like, I love to teach, right? That's what I love to do, to teach and to travel. So I want to share with you a picture of the day that I came across this for the very first time. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong picture. This is the picture here. That's for a different event later tonight. Here's a picture of me in 2009 when I sat in a room in Dublin, Ireland. By the way, if you're Irish, identify yourself. Type in Paddy if you are Irish. And by the way, there may be thousands of you online today, but I know not many of you will identify yourselves because we're nervous, we're shy, we're not allowed to come to these things. As a friend of mine said about the movie The Secret many years ago, he said, come on, Paul, The Secret's not for Irish people. And it's so true. That's exactly how we think. So I went to this event because I was in big trouble. I had 2 mortgages that I bought at the worst possible time in Ireland. I was hundreds of thousands in negative equity. I'd lost a whole pile of money on an adventure I went into because I just didn't have the capacity to listen, right? I thought I knew everything, right? I'm smart. I should learn that. I've been to college, right? And I sat in a room here at 30 years of age because I wanted to learn, how do you make money on the internet? I'd never been to an event like this that you're at right now, never, right? So I was very green, very naive. I always think of this picture, I look a little bit like a rabbit in front of the headlights because that's how it was for me. I was like, what the hell is this about? The speakers, and no offense to my American friends that are here today, there was a big army of American speakers. So everything was awesome. High five. Turn to the person next to you and tell them they're awesome. If you do that in Ireland, we don't do that. It's like, what? The word awesome? We don't use that. One person made the mistake of saying, massage the shoulders of the person next to you. What? We don't touch our own family, let alone strangers. To this day, we don't know why there are all these COVID signs up stay 2 meters apart. We're like, why do we need to get closer together? What's this about? We don't drink because we enjoy it. We drink because we need to get close enough to procreate, right? My Irish friends in the audience will know there's a bit of an exaggeration there, but it's not a million miles away from the truth either, right? We're just not touchy-feely that much without the alcohol. So we're very skeptical. So you can imagine how we are when all these speakers are coming in saying, oh yeah, man, I'm making $1 million and I'm just sitting up by the beach. You're like, okay, well, if there's ever been a scam, this is it. Now, the irony is, one speaker got up on stage and he said, okay, I can see your arms are folded. I can see you're defensive. He said, you think we're here to brainwash you. He said, the irony is, you are so brainwashed that you don't see the truth. He said, teenagers, if there's any teenagers in the audience, he said, put up your hand. And he said, keep it up. Keep it up if you're in debt. And all the teenagers took down their hands. He said, okay, great. Now, he said, hands up those of you in your 20s. Now, he said, look around, everyone. Now, he said, keep your hands up if you're in debt. And everyone in their 20s kept their hands up. Then he said, you in your 30s, put your hands up. Keep your hands up if you're in debt. And then he went through all the decades. And he said, do you realize the only people who are not dead in this room are the teenagers or the people that are in their 70s that are here by accident to give people lifts home on the way back? And you think we're here to brainwash you. And he said, this is the critical thing that you have learned. You have learned in school that wealth is connected to the number of letters you get after your name. In other words, qualifications. And you spend 22 years and your parents' money and savings to go get those letters. And you believe that when you get those qualifications, you're going to suddenly get rich. He said, I found as a high school dropout that a much more accurate measure of wealth, rather than letters after your name, are numbers in your bank account. And I'll never forget when I heard it, because it was like being hit by a sledgehammer across the chest. Not only was he slightly poking at me, he was completely pulling the rug from under me, that all of my beliefs around growing money, wealth, financial freedom, etc., they were completely based on a foundation that wasn't a foundation whatsoever. He said, think about it. How are you going to get your next promotion? You probably need to go and get another qualification. And you constantly keep going from one to the other, hoping when you get to the next level that somehow your problems go away. And he said, they never go away. He said, even look at your PhDs. They find it more difficult to get jobs today than they ever did. The more qualified you become, the less employable you are. Look at Apple, look at Google. They don't ask for qualifications anymore. They ask for real life experience. He even went as far as to say that wealth and intelligence are in no way correlated. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I wish I knew that 2 decades ago. But it's true. Wealth and intelligence are no longer correlated. Never have been. How many of you think about regularly people who, when were in your class at school, you used to do so much better than them, and now they're really wealthy? You're like, what the hell happened? That's not supposed to be it. I'm supposed to be the one that did better in life because I did better in school, right? It's so true. But wealth and intelligence are no longer connected. And I say, hallelujah, praise the Lord. I wish we learned that years ago. Because we have all of these belief systems that the internet's a scam, that, hey, but look, what's your problem, Paul? And the gremlins, by the way, are going to be coming out right now. You're like, Paul, but we're all in the same boat. What's the problem? The problem is the boat is the Titanic and everybody's sinking into debt. And just because they're describing the water coming up to their necks, they say, yeah, Paul, what's the problem? Everybody else is in that situation. I said, but what about crazy Luke getting into that lifeboat over there? Should we get in? Oh, don't mind crazy Luke and his crazy ideas. But that's Einstein. When he says insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, that's exactly what most people do. So that's why we got to break free from it. And that's what I did, right? It took me 1 year to make my first $1 million. It would have taken me an entire career to make that in my job, right? If you look at the wealthiest people in the world, how is their wealth primarily built, right? Through the internet. The richest man in the world sells books on the internet, owns a bookshop, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm very aware of, like, when you're sitting at home and you think sounds too good to be true, and there's a lot of stuff in the background that goes on, right? When I heard these speakers speaking primarily from America, I thought this was insane. Every single speaker had the same story. They were born in a hospital. They were mixed up as babies. They happened to be sent down a river in a reed basket, but luckily were rescued by wolves. And the wolves raised them for 7 years in the forest. Then they set up a little heroin factory. Then they dabbled a little bit too much in the heroin. And then luckily they got found by a National Geographic television camera crew who found them, rescued them, checked them into a Betty Ford detox clinic. And then at age 18, they found a Wi-Fi connection, they found Jesus, and they went on to make millions on the internet. I said, geez, someone needs to close that hospital, right? Has any normal person ever made money on the internet? Like, ever? But just so you don't feel left out, I'm going to add to my story just a little bit. Is that okay? Do I have your permission? Type in I, if I have your permission to just embellish my story just a little bit. Here's the castle, of course, where, well, there's the river, first of all, where I was rescued as a baby. There's the grassy knoll where the wolves raised me. Now, of course, I own the castle with my 17 Lamborghinis out the back, right? Now, don't laugh. This is really me as a 7-year-old. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my God, time hasn't been very kind to him. What happened? What do you think happened? I'm Irish. Alcohol happened, of course. Alcohol happened, right? Now, you've heard from Tony Robbins, live with passion. You've heard that advice before, right? But if you're Irish and you live with passion, this is where you end up, living on a park bench if you follow your passion too, literally. But I got lucky because one day by my trolley, somebody left a laptop with a Wi-Fi connection. And as they say, the rest is history, right? Oh, unfortunately, that's not true. This is the truth. I told you already, both my parents were teachers. You can only imagine, right? So what did I do? I went and did what I was told to do. Go to college, pass the exams, get myself a permanent job. Do you remember permanent jobs? They were all the rage a few years ago. Turns out they're not that permanent anymore. And it was at this day, at this conference, and this is your day. This is your moment. It was that second of that day when I realized, what the F have I been doing for the past 30 years? And you can either let your ego get in the way, and you can deny it and say, I hope this isn't true. Or you can wake up and realize, my education begins today. Mark Twain famously said, I never let my schooling get in the way of my education. What a beautiful saying. I never let my schooling get in the way of my education. I want us all right now to do our countdown, right? That 4, 3, 2, 1, today is your liftoff, right? Everybody gets to decide when that moment is. Why not today? Why not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take off today? I mean, if you're ever looking for signs, today's your day. Grab your phone, take a picture, and take a picture of me looking at you, looking at me, because this is that picture for you. And save it to your favorites. This is the one that you're going to have and say, that was liftoff day for me. Because everybody gets to choose when that day is. Today is your day, right? Today is that day for you, right? It is literally, like, if you look, in terms, I'm big into numbers, it's like literally 555 on the clock right now. I mean, it is, there is a clear message, a clear time. This is your moment. Take that picture. This is when it starts, right? Type in right now, I'm committed. If you are committed to saying, this is it, no more looking backwards, no more sympathy for myself. Take ownership, take responsibility, because that sets you free, right? Wow, look at all these uncommitteds. Amazing. Amazing how well you can all spell committed. I can't even spell it that without really thinking hard about it. But you guys nailed it. That's amazing, okay? So now, no story would be complete without this guy. Who knows who this person is in the background? Who knows who is standing behind me here? This is the last thing I'm going to tell you before we jump into social media, right? Yeah, me, of course. Behind me is Tony Robbins, right? Tony. Now, when I went to that event in Dublin, I purchased 3 workshops about how to make money online. 3 of them. So in case you're worried about, you know, did I buy too many? No, not at all. They all have a place. If you feel like it's the right thing for you to do, get them now while everything is on sale because of COVID, right? Absolutely. So during those 3 workshops about how to make money online, where I figured out how to make my first million within a year. By the way, I've gone on to make $50 million since. Haven't talked about that yet. But everybody kept talking about this guy, Tony Robbins. So I went to see him in New York City on St. Patrick's weekend, and my boss paid for it. I mean, come on. You think, how could it possibly go wrong? Well, that's the interesting thing. I walked in, there were 3,000 people, mainly Americans. And when Tony came up on stage, the only way you could describe the excitement, and I hadn't even checked him out on YouTube. I just went to see him because everybody talked to him. And basically, it was like it was the Pope, the Dalai Lama, and Kim Kardashian all in one body. Everybody went insane. And he came out on stage and walked out. I was like, wow, this guy has a fairly passionate following. And he says, everybody, I want you to jump around like complete lunatics. And to my shock and horror, literally everybody started doing it. 2,995 people. And I started backing up towards the closest exit. I knew this was not for Irish people. And I bumped into somebody. He had ginger hair and freckles. He couldn't have looked more Irish if he tried. I said, I just want you to know before you say anything, I didn't pay for this. My boss paid for it. He said, forget the money. I've written off the money already. I've seen this. This is a cult. I've seen something like this on the Discovery Channel. Now I know how we're going to survive the fire. We're going to drink suicide tablets, and they're going to drag us across the coast to get rid of the evidence. Now it makes sense. He said, will we just go to the bar? I said, jeez, maybe it is Paddy's weekend. And then as we were considering it, Tony comes back on stage and he says, by the way, those of you not dancing, you're walking on fire tonight. If you don't do everything I say, you're going to burn. I said, well, feck it, Tony, why didn't you say so? So off I went, jumping around the stage, say, aye, and do everything he said. Tony said, scratch your bum. I scratched my bum. Whatever he said, I went and I did. And this is me. Just a few minutes later, right? If you look really, really closely, you can actually see where my hand is going up, right? It's going up to reach out to him there. Okay, you see it right here, right? Look really closely. Move your face close to the screen and you might see the exact moment when we touched. There it is. There's the exact moment when we touched, and it was definitely God. Oh, definitely God. My leprosy was gone in an instant. And we just seemed to have this kind of connection that was different. He touched me in places that I'd never been touched before. Okay, that came out the wrong way, but maybe you know what I mean, right? And I said, oh my God, this is amazing. So what did I do? I texted my boss and I said, your services will no longer be required. And he said, what? Is this the course that I paid for? I said, yes, I'm going to go live with passion. He said, okay, what the hell is wrong with this guy? 3 months later, I'd lost all my money. I ignored all of the things that Tony said about get a coach, find somebody who's been there and pay them to show you what to do. I said, yeah, sounds too salesy for an Irish person. And that's when I went back to the internet, feet between my legs, right? But guess what? The reason why I went to the internet was because it didn't take any money. And right now, in 2021, it's never been easier or cheaper to get started. The software is free. You can run ads on Facebook for less than $1, ads on Twitter for a single cent. And I get to share this story with tens of thousands of people at one time, right, across the globe. A normal guy who went from sitting in the audience to just standing 2 foot higher up, speaking to the audience. And I really want you to start thinking that way, that you were literally 2 foot away from making an enormous difference in your life. But it starts by making a decision that today is the day. Type in right now, today is the day. Type it into the chat. Let your conscious, your unconscious, your subconscious, let it know that something's got to give, something's got to change. And there's got to be this decision moment when you decide enough is enough, right? And I've been writing books about these topics. I've been helping people across the globe, empowering them to rethink and create an extraordinary life. Primarily, I'm known for social media, but I help with time management and money and all these kind of things. And I help children and teenagers across the globe. I've been speaking on stage with Tony for years. And you probably know some of these people: Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, John Assaraf, a really good friend of mine. We've toured Australia and New Zealand together. Jack Dorsey from Twitter up there, the founder of Twitter, and Tony himself. Ladies, you've already spotted this. The second time Tony and I met, look at the size of his hand. I mean, it's the size of my entire chest. Sometimes you gotta know when you're beaten. Let's just say I'm never going to compete in a competition in a niche around how to have long-term passionate relationships. I think he's got a not so hidden advantage over the rest of us mere mortals. I feel sorry for his smartphone. I mean, how does it not crack every single time that those fingers touch it? But anyway, that's a whole other story. Let's get on to social media. And by the way, I've set up a company and a foundation helping children across the globe so they don't have to repeat the mistakes that we did. And I've set up multiple cartoons, animations, and so it's called Financial Freedom, putting the fun in finances so our kids, our grandkids, our nephews, our nieces can get off to an amazing head start in life and learn that money's not just about what you can buy, it's about what you can give and how you can help others across the globe. And that's because I was inspired by a 13-year-old who came to my workshop with his dad because the babysitter canceled. And he put up his hand and he said, Paul, can I share something? I said, sure. He said, I just made $190 in 11 minutes. And I said, amazing. And you know, everybody else had that same look in their eyes. And block your ears if you're a child right now. I will apologize in advance for the language. It was, you little shit. How dare you prove to us that this actually works? What did you do? I did what the old guy said. Oh, really? We have to press buttons. We have to press buttons on a computer, right? You know how you are as adults. The easiest thing in the world to do is press buttons on your keyboard, unless it's to do with making money. Suddenly you go, oh, I'm not technical enough. I don't know how to press buttons, even though I can send emails, I can Google when it suits me. Suddenly you use that as an excuse, and that's all it is. Unfortunately, he has inspired me to go and set up, you know, we ran our first event in Johannesburg 2 years ago to 55,000 children on this, but that's another day's talk. The beauty of the internet is it doesn't care who you are, where you come from, or how much you make. You get paid in line with how much value you provide. Whether you're 7 years of age, like our youngest client, to 97 years young, like our oldest client. Anybody can do this. Runa here made $130,000 in 4 hours. 4 hours, right? And we'll show you why in a few minutes. Here, by the way, this is the workshop that we've been running pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, where we spend 3 days going through step by step exactly how to do. And we're going to go into more detail to this, but I just wanted to give you absolute clarity on any of these success stories that I share, right? It's because they went and they did training with me. Okay, is that fair enough? Just type in fair if you feel that's fair, just to let you know, right? They've done training, they've been to workshops. They were $6,000, okay, when they were in person, and I had to book flights and hotels and all that stuff, but that's the previous world. We will have some good news on that in a while. But here's the thing. What's unique about my style, having been a product of two teachers, is I teach you in advance. You learn everything before you come to the workshop. So when you come to the workshop, you're actually prepared. You already have your business up and running. You can already be making money even before you come. Janet here, what an amazing inspiration. Her first Facebook ad, she spent $12 and made $2,100 in 12 hours. And you know what she did? She panicked and she turned off the ad. She said, this can't be legal. How can it be legal to make $2,100 in 12 hours? I think, Janet, you need to change your way of thinking, right? There's a whole new world out there where you're not paid by the hour anymore, right? Now, Janet is by nowhere near, or any of these success stories are nowhere near our most successful, but I share these ones because I want to share with you that people in their 50s and 60s, people who you wouldn't think, right, are necessarily technically savvy, they can make a fortune from this themselves, right? And anybody can do this. As Janet used to say, if someone else can do this, then so can I. And she's absolutely correct. Grab your phone again. I want you to take a picture of this. This is the Rethink Social Media blueprint, step by step, what you need, right? The 9 areas of how to turn time that you spend on social media into part-time time on the internet into full-time earnings. Okay. You can see they're all focused on that midpoint of earning money. Now I'm going to count down 5, 4 in a moment, just to give you, I need to keep going here, but grab a quick picture of that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll come back to that again in a little bit in case you missed it. But just a quick recap of where we're at here. You pick a niche where you're guaranteed for it to work, health, wealth, or happiness. The people then, we're about to show you how to find them on social media, right? Then we build an email database. Right, we collect people's emails by giving them something for free. Then we automate the process of making money, and then we get help. The most important part of all of this is getting support. The reason we learned how to walk, read, write, cycle, all of those things, we found someone who did it, and then we learned from them. The problem is when you become an adult, you forget to ask. You're nervous to ask. Others don't ask, so you don't ask. You think I should know it by now, and if I don't know, I won't ask. Right, like men looking for directions, we just won't ask. Okay. Now, some of my clients you'll have heard of: Johnson & Johnson, Booking.com. Incredibly successful organizations. Just to show you the value of what I'm teaching you, you are now learning the most sought after business skill in the world, not social media, but how to make money from it. I have an 18-month waiting list for my one-to-ones, and my one-to-one mentoring is now $100,000. Now I kind of smile when I see this because I don't show it to show off. I show it to you to show what's possible. In 2010, I charged $30 an hour, and my mentor told me you were so cheap. Now I can charge $100,000 and realize you're not paid per what you know. You're paid for the value you can provide to other people. And here's the good news for you. In 3 months from now, type into that chat, just 3 months. In just 3 months from now, you will be in the top 0.1% most knowledgeable people in the planet. The top 3 months, you'll be in the top 0.1% most knowledgeable people on the planet about how to make money online. Remember, you are going to spend a fortune on the internet. You will buy your car on the internet. You will buy homes on the internet in the future. You might as well learn how to start making money from all of this, because that I can predict the future. That's where your money's going. You might as well learn how to make a fortune from it at the same time. Now, let's show you how this works, right? In Google here, okay, in Google, we go to this place when we have a problem. We type in a problem like, I want to lose weight. And what shows up? Websites looking to sell us stuff. Now, what if I could show you a magical website that when you type in a problem, even the exact same problem we just talked about here, it doesn't show you websites trying to sell you stuff. It actually shows you people who have just said they have that problem. Type in, yes, please, if you would love to see this, if such a magical website existed. You type in a problem and it shows you people with the problem, right? Again, listen to the gremlin, and the gremlin's going to say, too good to be true, too good to be true. Okay, gremlin, hold your fire, right? What if I told you it was free? What if I told you you've already heard of it? Most of you, you've already dismissed it. Well, here we go. Welcome to the world of Twitter. Now, I teach all of the social networks with my coaches, but I'm going to convince you with the one you'd least expect. Twitter. You type in, I want to lose weight, and look what shows up. Carla, short and to the point, I want to lose weight. Linda, I'm watching the Meerkat Manor. I want the same metabolism as a meerkat. They lose 5% of their body weight overnight and need to eat lots. Caitlin, I only want two things, to lose weight and to eat. And if you scroll down, there are hundreds more people saying they need to lose weight right now. Now, if you were with your friends in a coffee shop watching this, you would say, and that is why I don't use Twitter, because it's full of lunatics like these people who are willing to say they need to lose weight. What kind of an imbecile does that, right? Type in, that's me. Type it into the chat if you're thinking, oh my God, that is so me. That is so me. And I get that, but that's the old you. That's you thinking social media. It's time to rethink social media, right? These people are so desperate with their weight loss problems that they're willing to share it with 350 million strangers. Now you might think, yeah, but I don't have a weight loss business, right? Old school thinking. Instead, in this new world, you think, in this new digital economy, you think, who sells weight loss products that everybody's heard of and that they trust? Let me think, Weight Watchers. Yeah, but so what? Well, you can literally go to their website and sign up for free to sell their stuff to whoever you like, and you get paid if anybody buys through your link. You think, what? Why is everybody else broke again? Ask a better question. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Because you didn't know how. Weight Watchers own the products. They've spent millions in getting the success stories. People know the brand, and you just literally can sell their stuff to other people as an example, right? Just as an example. Now, by the way, it gets better and better and better. Like, you might ask, what? Oh my God, Twitter's been around a while. Have I missed the boat? You could not be starting at a better time. Let's go back to our friend Tony, right? He's nearly made me hoarse. He's got 3 million followers. Type in I if you would love to get your message in front of his 3 million followers, right? Of course you would, but you'd say that's not possible. How is that possible? It's possible. You can get your message in front of whomever you like, in front of their audience. Look at this example. Tony Robbins, not only can you get in front of his 3 million people, Twitter say, hey, would you like similar people, what we call lookalikes, similar people to Tony's people? We've got 92 million of them. What? What? Now listen to your brain. Listen to the resistance going, oh my God, but why haven't I heard of this before? You're going to go through the phases of shock, anger, denial, acceptance. Okay, let's get on with this. How do I do this without anybody else finding out about it, right? This is crazy. Whose stuff, by the way, do you think you sell to Tony's people? Not your stuff. I don't care if you have a PhD in neurology or neuroscience. Nobody knows you. Nobody cares. They love Tony. You sell Tony's stuff to Tony's people. Tony's running events across the globe right now. You can make hundreds of dollars for selling individual tickets to his events to the people who follow Tony Robbins. I mean, come on. I literally sold very close to 100 tickets to his last event to his people. And I get paid hundreds of dollars from a single ticket sale. Basically, Tony working for me. I mean, hello. If you're thinking about writing a book, forget it. Sell Tony Robbins' book to Tony Robbins' people. Sell Mel Robbins' book to Mel Robbins' people. Richard Branson's book to Richard Branson's people. Deepak Chopra's book to Deepak's people. Jack Canfield's book to Jack Canfield. My book to my people. Get out of your own way. Let other people make you wealthy, right? And it gets better. You can only pay when you make a sale, for example. Look at this. Webs, you pay for an individual click. Or when it says conversions, that means you only pay after you make the money. I'm going to say that again. You only pay after you make the money. If you're a business owner, you're thinking, but that's the opposite of business. You pay and then you hope to get paid. Not in this world. It's time to rethink what you're doing, right? My accountant says, Paul, you don't teach business, you teach magic. I said, what do you mean? I thought he was actually giving me abuse. He said, no. He said, Paul, business for most people is you have to go and write your first work of fiction called your business plan. You don't believe it, the bank managers don't believe it, but they're going to give you your money because they know you are a lifetime customer. You're in debt for life. I said, well, that's one way of looking at it. But he said, you go backwards and you hope after 3 to 4 years to break even. He said, well, what you do, you immediately get results. I said, I know. I said, why aren't you doing it? And what do you think he's doing? He stopped selling his time by the hour. And when your accountant does that, you know you're onto something amazing. Type in magic into the chat if you were starting to see the magic unfold in front of your eyes here right now. And you can see how excited I get about this stuff. It's not about the money for me. It's about getting you guys pumped to realize what you have been missing out on. And it's literally on this same device that we talked about earlier, right? And look at this. It gets better. You can type in any keywords that you want. Lose weight, stop smoking, trade the stock market. What is Bitcoin? What are cryptocurrencies? How do I get my ex back? How do I sleep better? How do I get my partner to disappear? Whatever it is, right? Add followers. You can target the followers of any person out there and sell their stuff to their people. You can target people based on their interests. Sorry, I'm jumping through the slides here with excitement. Television targeting. You can literally target any television show that's on. Right now with the European Championships, right, when that was on, you can target, let's say, a game, Germany, Italy. And you can sell I Love Germany t-shirts to the people who are supporting Germany. I Love Italy t-shirts to the people who love Italy. I Love Germany and Italy to the people who are confused. And you don't even know how to make t-shirts. You just sell the stuff that they want to them, right? Absolutely incredible that people don't know about it, but at least you don't have that excuse anymore. What if your business isn't doing this? What if you're not learning and implementing this, right? Who thinks, by the way, that I might be able to help you just a little bit, just a teensy weensy little bit with your business? Just type in please help, or if you're just thinking about starting one, right? Type in please help into the chat. Okay, wonderful. So I'd love to help you, right? It's just, the thing is, it's like in plain sight. It's right in front of your eyes. That's why it really mesmerizes people. Like, how have I missed this, right? Because you know, in other things, whether it's the stock market or property or stuff, you get, okay, I got to learn some stuff, I got to figure stuff out. But this is like, it's already there and you just have to rethink what you already know, right? But who'd like to just target wealthy people, for example, right? You can literally target people based on whether they own a home, 23.6 million, or if they're renting a home. Why would you bother? You can target people based on the pets that they own. You can target people based on the value of their house, the characteristics of their home. If they're in the market to buy a home, you can target people based on their credit history, their credit worthiness. Excellent, 11.6 million. When you run out of them, 6.2 million with very good credit history. You can target people based on discretionary spending, which means how much spare money do they have left in their accounts at the end of the month. You can target people based on the financial services that they use, their net worth, 100,000 to 1 million, 1.82 million people. Let me get myself out of the way. 1 million to 1.9 million, 1 million plus. Affluency. What kind of credit cards do they have? Affluent homeowners. Ladies, look at this. The news gets better and better for you. You can close down those Tinder accounts tonight. No more swipe left, no more swipe right. Get onto Twitter. Affluent single men, 768,000. Your soulmates, plural, are waiting for you, right? You're welcome. I know, I don't even claim to be a relationship guru, but I just showed you a good step in the right direction, right? Who needs this in their lives? Type into the chat right now. I need this now. Type it in. I need this now, because I can assure you this changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. The risks disappear. They disappear. $1 to run an ad on Facebook. No cost to set up the softwares. Like literally no downside, all upside. You're already spending your time and your money there. Why would you not make money from it? Because of a mental blockage, because of the mental people that surround us, unfortunately. But they're not wrong. That's their journey. This is your journey. And you can target any country, anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter how your economy is doing, because you can sell anywhere at any time to whomever you like. Facebook, they make it even easier. The person doesn't even need to type in their email address. They click a button once, learn more, and the name and email address is put in automatically by Twitter. 2 clicks equals $1 per person per month, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You either get used by these tools or you use the tools to change your life and your financial situation forever. That type of ad, by the way, is called a lead generation ad, in case you have not come across it before. Welcome to social media for grown-ups, as I call it. Same thing, same time, less time even. Time you're already spending there, but turning it into a fortune. And right now, as I said, ads have never been cheaper. This is where COVID comes to your benefit, finally, because it closed down so many small traditional businesses. Many of you may be here today, right? But that's to the benefit of people that are online. And the thing is, you test it, it doesn't work, you stop and you change it. Imagine being able to do that in the stock market. You see something going the wrong way and you say, oh, if I could only just press pause. That's exactly what you can do with this. Starting with as little as $1 less on Facebook and 1 cent on Twitter. I mean, come on, you need to get your head tested if you're not doing this. Because now I get that you don't know how to, right? And that's why I want to get you excited. By the way, this program is online. It's $3497. My Facebook ads, Twitter ads. Please don't go there and buy it, because you'll be kicking yourself in a few minutes when I show you what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to do something so incredible for you today that you will literally say, okay, fair enough. I cannot say no to that, right? I'm going to give you my guarantee right now that you will, what I'll show you will be less than what you pay for a cup of coffee, for a day. Less than a cup of coffee for a day, right? That's my guarantee, and I don't care where you live in the world, right? I'm going to make this affordable for absolutely everybody, okay? By the way, we haven't even talked about the likes of Instagram. Jake here, who came to my workshop, made $26,000 in a single hour from Instagram, now has a full-time business from Instagram. Vishal quit his job after coming to my workshop, made $55,000 in 3 hours from Facebook Messenger. Again, you're either used by these tools or you use these tools. And people all over the globe, every single day, are making a fortune from the internet, from people like you who put money into it. They've just learned how to take money out of it. Alfred here, in case you think you're too busy, he works a 60-hour-a-week job, a medical professional. He sent a message to us on Skype saying, hey, Paul, I just had another milestone, made over $200 in a day, right? When the workshop came around, because we teach you before the workshop, so you get started straight away. We start on Monday, right? Not too far away, right? We're literally starting on Monday, making up to $350 per day on the side of his job. That's $127,000 on the side per year, right? Type in, I want this, if you want these types of results, right? This is on the side, part-time, selling other stuff. Of course, if you want to sell your own products and services, you're more than welcome to, but don't limit your income sources to just what you have. James here, he has earned over $2.5 million since starting at the very, very end of 2018, right? Just, again, if I showed you this on slide 1, you might have left and said, not possible, it can't be possible, I don't want it to be possible. It 100% is possible, right? Who wants even just 10%, even 1% of these results, right? 1%, you don't even need 10%, 1%, right? Type into the chat right now, I want this now. Let your conscious, your subconscious, your unconscious, let them know today's the day. I'm committed. I'm starting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's make it happen. I need to take my enthusiasm and energy and channel it into something that's meaningful to me. And you know you're going to go to the internet anyway. So why not this? And again, our workshops are $6,000. When we run them in hotels, they're 3 days. My coaches run them for me. We've a like ridiculous waiting list in place because obviously we haven't been able to run them since March of what, 2020. I can't even remember what year with COVID anymore. But don't worry, we are going to come up with an alternative solution for you guys. So we've talked about niche. We've talked about social media. We've talked about how do you get people into your list. With the softwares that are used to build these lists, guys, the news is they're completely free now. You have completely free tools. So there is no hidden cost. The only cost is ads. That's it. And that's as little as $1, right? So you give something away for free in exchange for people's email address. I can show you how to create your own stuff, how to find other people's stuff to give away for free. But the bit that people get kind of caught up on is making sales. What do I sell? Paul, what do I sell? I just don't get that. And I understand, right? You want to figure out, how do I give something to people where they're like literally rushing to get it? Well, the beauty of this is we can automate this process, right? And here's the question. Here's a self-portrait of myself. But Paul, how do I sell other businesses' products? Now, I want to do something with you that anytime you ask this question from now on, you'll never get confused again. Because this is it. Every time shopping in a supermarket, right? Anytime you go shopping in a supermarket, when you go to buy milk, okay, when you go to buy milk, can I ask a question, right? Do you expect to see cows in that aisle? Right? Do you expect to see cows in the aisle and milking stools, and you got to go in and milk the cows, right? Of course not, right? The cows are already milked, and the farmers have already got them sorted, pasteurized, and put in. Exact same thing. You don't need to own the cows to sell the milk. You don't need to create the products to sell them, right? So anytime you go to the supermarket from now on, just think about that is exactly what they do. They sell other people's products. Right? Just like you can sell anything that's on Amazon, anything that's on eBay, the world's best training courses, events from some of the best people in the world, like Tony Robbins, who we just mentioned. You can create your own, of course, as well. In fact, you will save more money. You will save than you will invest, right? Then you will actually invest today in the next 3 months. That's my first guarantee to you. You will actually save more money in your online spending by just getting clever about how you spend your money. But I know you're not just here to learn how to actually save money. You're here to earn some serious money. So what if you could make money from what we call high profit products, where you could make $600 from a sale, or $1,800 from a sale, or even $4,000 from a sale, right? Well, let's look at this, right? I allow my students, okay, to promote me if they wish. Okay, so they can promote me. Well, as I said, the lazy person's guide is just sell my stuff, for example. So when I wake up in the morning, what I do is I check, how did sales go the night before? Okay, so let's take a look at this, right? So one of our online programs is $997, right? So each line here where it says 997, 997, 997, 997, this is a sale that came in while I was asleep. 997, 997, 997, 997, 997, 997, 997, 997. Sometimes people ask, Paul, do you ever get tired of saying 997? I say, no, never. 997, 997, 997, 997, 997, 997. Who thinks that you may have difficulty in going to sleep at night if you know this is going on in the background? Type in yes, right? If you think you might have problems sleeping knowing that this is going on, right? Who thinks they can kick their caffeine habit if first thing in the morning, this is what you wake up to every day, right? And this is the world that you can introduce yourself to, right? Not overnight, but absolutely with a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. So for example, in May, one account, $246,000. April, 78,000. March, 428,000. February, 174. January, 188,000. Last 4 weeks, 400,000 plus. Last 12 months, 2.6 million. In the middle of COVID, 200,000 plus, 200,000 plus, 500,000 plus, 500,000, 300,000. The reason I share this with you is that this is life-changing money in a single month, right? A single month. Right? It's like winning the lottery for people, right? But why have luck have anything to do with this? Let's do this together. Let's hold your hand and let's just show you step by step. Let's get this done. Let's make it happen. And let's put this to bed. The internet being an SCAM. Well, maybe it is. It's a systemized cash accumulation machine. And everybody needs one in their lives, right? A systemized cash accumulation machine, right? Maybe you were right all along. And the difference between where you're going to end up in 3 months from now and where you are today all depends on what you decide to do in the next 10 minutes, right? I want to extend an offer to you so that I can personally support you on this journey. I want to help you in a way that you're familiar with, being shown what to do, being held accountable, and just getting this done, right? The problem as grown-ups are, we're like children being told how to read, but we've never been taught how, okay? So We're expected to make a living, even though we haven't been shown how to live from a financial perspective. It's not your fault. And I want you to get this. You've been done what the system told you to do, and you've done it. And the results that you've got are what people get. What you're earning today is a direct result of what you know now. However, what you learn from today is what will get you the results you want from now on. Okay, so this is why I'm really excited for you, because there is no secret to success. It's in the book that every famous sports person and business owner writes in the foreword. They say, I want to thank my coach. Right up front, I want to thank my coach. You got to ask yourself, have you got a coach around business and money right now? Okay, because most people don't. The people that are struggling around money, okay, they don't. So what does that mean for you? You got to do something different to them. Okay, so I'm here to invite you to learn how to see from a higher perspective. Right? I got very lucky with this photograph. You need to climb up on the shoulders and be able to see the finish line rather than focusing on the obstacles, like the poor zebra here, right? So let's do this, right? Here is the really good news that I have for you all, okay? Now, we offer coaching and mentoring programs, and I have a workshop that I want to give you the dates for. Please write these dates down. If you're planning on getting married on these dates, cancel it. Let's learn how to pay for the wedding instead. Right? If you got a funeral coming up, wait, tell them to delay it a little bit, right? These dates are too important to miss, right? If you can't make those dates, by the way, we'll make other dates available later in the year, but this is the next one that we have available that isn't completely booked out, right? It is 4 days, and I am the head coach. Because we are still in COVID-y times, I am the one actually delivering the workshop. So you're getting 4 days with me. And all of our training is accredited by the CPD, the Continual Professional Development Course. So this is literally approved by the CPD Standards Office, right? So absolutely incredible. 4 days, right? We've only had an hour or so together, and I can almost feel you guys just bumping. Absolutely pumped. People are asking for the link. I haven't even told you how much anything is, but I can assure you, you are going to be absolutely over the moon when I tell you. By the way, those of you that get in today, and if you're in the first 50, I am going to give you my Mindset Mastery program, and you pay in full, you're going to get this. It's $2,000. You're going to get that completely for free. Okay. Luke here, another great example. He's from Australia. This is my best Australian accent. Good eye, Paul. As you know, okay, actually, I'm going to give up on that. I started 5 months ago. I've been rigidly sticking to the actions. I made $7,000 last week. It's going to be over $8,000 for the first week. This is why I share this one. Who would have thought this was possible just a few months ago? I've already paid my parents back for the loan. They think I am selling drugs. LOL, right? He sent me an email more recently. Hey, Paul, I made over $100,000 worth of sales in a single day. Loving the journey. We had a catch up not that long ago on WhatsApp. He'd made $3.5 million in 2019, 2020. Guys, just don't let your head get in your way with this, right? You've got to learn new things. My job here today is to push your buttons so that you press those buttons on your keyboard. That's it. If a 13-year-old can make $190 in 11 minutes, what's stopping you? By the way, Salman, he's nowhere even near having the record anymore. Kiane made $13,000 in 2 days, right? $13,000 in 2 days. Do the maths on that, right? Completely changing somebody's life at that age. No wonder he's got a smile on his face. And as I say, I'm helping children and teens across the globe to do the same. The question I have for you is, who is ready? Type into the chat right now, I'm ready, and type it in if you mean it. I'm ready. If you're ready to change what's beneath the surface to create something new. We got to plant new seeds, right? We got to plant new seeds. We're going to water them, and we're going to watch them grow, right? Wow, we've got literally thousands of you already. Well, the good news is, for many of you, this is going to be an amazing, life-changing day. Unfortunately, some of you will be very disappointed. The minute I give you the countdown, I'm going to tell you this now, start stretching out your fingers, right? Because when I say to go, you need to go immediately, and you are going to be blown away with your investment, etc. But just be ready to go straight away, okay? So here's your official invitation to come work with me, right? Number one, we are starting this Monday. Okay, this Monday, 1:30 Eastern, live with me. If you can't make it, there's no problem. It will be recorded, and we'll get it to you in the 24 hours after that, okay? And then we have 4 more of these web classes, which will be drip fed to you after that. Okay, so that's live 1:30 Monday Eastern time. Okay, I put it in Eastern because there's people across the globe here. Total value of that 997. 2, the workshop. You've already taken the picture. You know the dates now. You've canceled the wedding. You haven't explained it to your partner just yet, but you will a little bit later, right? The workshop itself. Now, in the lead up to the workshop, which is 4 days with me, okay, we also are going to give you the opportunity to, we will build your opt-in page for you, your squeeze page, in case you think you're not that technical. We'll build it for you, right? Don't worry about these things. We'll do that for you and give you that. The thing I'm most proud of in my business is our help center, right? Absolutely amazing team. They support you 7 days a week. 7 days a week. This is unheard of in the industry, especially at the investment you're making today, because I feel, as the person who sat in the audience, that it's my responsibility to make you feel that you are going to be supported, that there's no such thing as a stupid question, that there's no such thing as being too old, that there's no such thing as being not technical enough, right? We are here to support you because there are so many of you out there that just haven't had somebody that will reach out, hold your hand, give you an offer that you just can't refuse and say, okay, I'm going to do this because I'm already on the internet. Our average customer satisfaction is 97%, right? And that's with an average customer age of in the 50s, just so you know. Okay, and you have that for an entire year. That's $4,000 worth of value, all yours. I'm going to move myself out of the way here. And that will kick off from when we have our first call. 5, I am going to give you lifetime access to all of your training, right? Lifetime access, all the updates for life. Okay, so that's why I want you to know that even if you feel you might have taken on extra programs that you want to catch up on, no problem. You're going to have this for life. Okay, and you get access to this before the workshop. So you literally have everything you need in advance from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, blogging, how to find the products to sell, how to get somebody else to do this for you. $13,000 worth of value. You have it for life forever. Number 6, we are so confident that you are going to love this, that we're also going to include live coaching. Right, there's going to be live coaching calls. Again, we're starting on Monday, right? We start giving you drip feeding access to all of the training before the workshop, right? So this isn't just a workshop, it's all of the training for lifetime as well, okay? And we have live coaching calls where we'll walk you through how to make up to $4,000 with a single sale, live coaching calls, hold your hand through the process. No such thing as a silly question. We are here to support you. You know what I'm like already, right? As in, you know my style. You either like it or you don't, but I can assure you, you won't be getting better service anywhere else. Number 7, for those of you that have a child or a teen or a grandchild or a nephew or a niece, I'm also going to give you a half-day training for them that will set them up for life financially. It'll show them a saving system where they'll never have to worry about money for their lives. We'll show them how to set up an online business within 24 hours that can be making money within 48 hours. You'll have access to that from this week, right? You can share it with all of your family members, right? And of course, they can help you on this program. Like I mentioned earlier, they can become your in-sourcers. Right. So, and again, if those dates don't work for you for the workshop, don't worry. We just make sure you sign up today and we'll work around and get another date for you. So here, quick summary. Live call Monday, 1:30 Eastern. 4 more web classes direct fit to you. A ticket for the workshop. Opt-in page done for you. A year's access to our help center. Lifetime VIP access to all of the membership site training. Live coaching. 6 other bonuses that won't fit on the page. The half-day online training for your kids, teens, etc. That's a total value of $30,000. Okay, $30,000. But Paul, what's the real value? That's what I always ask when I saw that. What's the real value? I don't care. I remember thinking, I saw before $2 million. I said, well, why don't you just sell one for 2 million then, if that's the case, and relax. The real value of something for me is what has actually been charged and what has actually been paid. When this was a 2-day workshop that I used to run in Heathrow in London, it was $94.97 plus $127 per month. Now, the good news for you today is this: it is not going to be anywhere like that. And let me explain why. No hotels, no flights, don't need to bring my coaches from around the world in. I don't need to fly over there. I'm doing this from home. You're doing this from home. So your cost is minimal also because you're literally doing it from home, right? This system works for absolutely everybody, right? So I'm going to do something incredible right now. I'm going to make you an absolute no-brainer. I'm going to give you an incredible discount, not 20%, not 40%, not even 60%, which would be if you saw me on stage somewhere across the globe, you might have got this for $3,997. But again, no hotels, costs are minimal. So I want to make this absolutely incredible. I am going to reduce this by 98% to $297. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please go now and get in right now. $297 is going to expire at midnight tonight. However, if you purchase right now, while I am here, I am going to give you an incredible go now bonus. I am actually going to take off $100 right now so that you get this for just $197. This is only while I'm talking right now. Are you going to get it for that? Okay, so $197, and you get, please, by the way, only listen to me with one ear now. Concentrate, focus, because if you get it wrong and your credit card goes in incorrectly, you'll go back to the bottom of the line. Okay, so make sure you type in carefully here. Okay, make sure you type in carefully. Okay, $197, just a one-time payment. That's it, right? One-time payment. By the way, if you get in right now, you will have the option to upgrade to have a one-to-one with me if you wish. Okay, now my hourly rate is $2,000. Now, because your investment is just $197, I know some of you are thinking, God, I actually was expecting to pay more, so I'm possibly willing to spend more. But Brian asked me to do something incredible for you here. He said, you know what, let's just do something incredible. It's been a tough year for so many people out there. Let's just do something amazing. So if you do wish to upgrade and get a one-to-one personally, you and me, right? You and me, one-to-one, all you need to do is this. Just join with the link. I am going to include it for the first 50 people only. You are going to get a one-to-one with me included as part of this program. Please go now, okay? I can't reiterate that enough. Please go right now, because you will receive a one-to-one with me, okay? You will get a one-to-one with me. You're going to go through the training, come to the workshop. We'll schedule a time and date that works for us both. And yes, one-to-one, no catches. This is how I can fast track your results. We can focus on your new business if you don't have one right now, or your current business if you have one, whatever you choose. But you get a one-to-one with me, but you got to get in right now. By the way, that's not it for the bonuses. I told you I want to make this absolutely incredible for you. How many of you would love to bring a guest for free? Type in me if you'd love to bring a guest for free, so that I can have a drink of water, because I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. As Les Brown would say, I'm thirsty. Well, that's the Irish version of it, right? Well, when you get in right now, I am going to give you a complimentary ticket. You are getting a second ticket for the workshop, right? A second ticket for the workshop. So please get in now. The link is the same. One-to-one with me, the Mindset Mastery for free. You get to go with a second person. This is what it looks like when you, whether it's on your phone or on your website, very red, right? That's it once you're there. By the way, there's a payment plan in there as well. So that's what I mean, right? Literally. This is less than what you are going to spend on a cup of coffee. We will give you a link before the session starts, the Monday session, on registering for that. We'll get that to you in the next 12 to 16 hours, okay? Again, it's going to be $297 until midnight, but the bonuses of the one-to-one with me, 2 for 1, and $100 right now, that's when you get in right this very moment, okay? An extra 100 off, just $197. By the way, Warren Buffett says the #1 rule in investing: never lose money. Well, I'm going to give you a 100% money back guarantee, right? Because I want you to genuinely have zero fear whatsoever as we finish this up. If you want to do this without no risk, type in yes, because you are going to be doing without any risk. All you need to do is recommend this to 2 people, right? If you recommend this to 2 people, and we'll share with you how to do this on Monday, recommend it to just 2 people, right? Friends or family of yours or business owners that you know, where they will not get the one-to-one with me, okay? And they'll not get the 2 for 1. They'll get they come to the workshop, $197, right? I will give you all of your money back. I will personally give it to you. Why would I do that? Because I want you to get into the habit of making money from other people. It's just easier, right? It's just so much better way of doing it. And by the way, I'm going to give you a second money back guarantee, and I'm going to extend this for the lifetime of the program, right? Literally any time into the future while this program is running, you can hold me accountable, lifetime guarantee that you recommend 2 people, we'll make the sale for you, get your money back. But I'm also going to give you a second money back guarantee. If you change your mind in the next 10 days for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, I am going to give you my blogging training for free. You can come on to 3 coaching calls, and I'm also going to show you how you can make up to $4,000 from a single sale. Basically, $2,000 worth of bonuses, even if you decide to change your mind. That's why I want you to say today that there is literally no downside for you, because even if you change your mind in the next 10 days, you are going to be getting your money back and $2,000 worth of training, 10 times what you initially invested. Bonus 4, Warren Buffett also says, investing in yourself is the most important investment you'll ever make in your life. I am going to allow that second person who is coming on the program with you to get all of the access to the training too. That means this works out at 27 cents per day for a year. I told you I would make it cheaper than a cup of coffee in any country, right? 27 cents, right? And as a business owner, of course, right? As a business owner, let me get out of the way of owner. This is a write-off against your business, right? It's a write-off against your company anyway, okay? So 27 cents per day, this is money you won't even feel going, right? You wouldn't even think about it twice. So pay yourself first, do yourself a favor, right? For those of you that have the gremlins, I'm seeing some of you in the chat saying, and it's not many in fairness, oh, why is it always to be about the money? Or why is there to be something to be sold? Because nothing gets done in this world without something being sold, ever. You cannot take action without making a financial investment first. You will not become engaged emotionally and take action unless you put your finances into it, right? Otherwise, you won't prioritize it. Something else will get in the way. That's why. And that's how it works, right? So, you need to, I can assure you, if you have that mindset, it's going to be very difficult for you to succeed in business, because the whole way that you will make money in life is you're either selling your time or you're selling products. It's your choice. You'll either be selling time for the rest of your life, or you can be selling other people's products and do what it is that you love with your time. The biggest difference between people struggling with money and people who have mastered money is this. People who struggle with money use their time to buy money. They use their time to buy money. People who have mastered money use their money to buy time. That's the difference, right? And again, in fairness, we're talking $197 here. So wherever you're at, I'm hoping that this is within your budget. If it's not, you need to have a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror and say, how come at this stage in my life, am I not able to come up with $197, 27 cents a day for a training that somebody has taken 11 years of their lives and putting together for you? So I want to thank everybody at Real Summits for giving me this opportunity today, right? I know you are absolutely going to love this. It's even better than I described, right? I'm also a financial advisor, so I haven't even spoken about that, but I'm actually a financial advisor as well. So why is that important? Well, because basically I will, in the 4 days, I will be able to share with you not just how to earn more money from your online business, but how you can grow your money, how you can invest your money, how you can manage your money. Who would like to learn not just how to make more, but how to keep more? Right? Type in me if you'd love that, right? I've also written a best-selling book called Rethink Time Management, where I've taken the best learnings out of 40 books on that topic and turned it into a single book for you, and I will be sharing those learnings with you in the 4 days. That's why it's 4 days, to make sure we've plenty of time together to not just talk about your online business, but also how do you free up the time to do this? How do you free up the half an hour a day that this will take, or how to catch up with the weekends? How to get the money mindset that is, absolutely desirable to have an incredibly successful business. Okay. How do we access the support center for 7 days a week, as Safina asked? We will be going through that in the in the welcome call on Monday, right? I will literally walk you through that step by step exactly how to do that. Okay, we'll give you the link. By the way, thank you so much for all the lovely comments. If you were here, you can see I'm actually sweating right now because I literally want to put my heart and soul into this for you, because when I'm doing something at this price point, $197, right? I know that you are getting the deal of your life, right? You may not know that, but I know it because I know what you're about to get. And I know how much time, effort, and focus I'm going to be putting into you guys, right? And it's, you know, sometimes people ask, well, what's the point? Why would you even bother selling it at that price? Because, right, success is what you get, right, from, you know, what you receive. But fulfillment is what you get from what you give. And it's just incredible to be able to change lives across the globe. It truly is. And you'll get that common theme from many, many speakers, right? Making a difference is what this becomes about when money is taken care of, right? So I'm so excited to be sharing this with you. I'm going to start looking at some questions as well here, if anybody has questions, and I'll make sure that you can see the link here. So if anybody has any questions for me, just let me know so that we can go through these as well for the amount of time that I have left together. The link is there below me. Just let me see any further questions. Wow, there's still tons and tons of questions coming in. Yes, the 2-for-1 deal. The 2-for-1 deal is active while I am speaking. So please make sure you get in right now. Lots of you asking, am I in the first 49? I don't know. I actually don't know if you are. So what I'll do is anybody that's getting in while I'm speaking, just to make this fair, because it's down to your Wi-Fi, it's down to where you are across the globe. Wherever you are in the world, or once you get in while I'm speaking to you right here now live, I will hold the places for you. Okay, so the 2-for-1, the 1-to-1 with me, that means 27 cents a day. That's what this is working out at, right? And I know, I'm sure many of you have decided to learn these other things. So I want to leave this on a high with you so that you can truly, this will only add value. It will only add value to whatever else it is that you want to do, because ultimately everything else you're going to do is pretty much is going to revolve around the internet anyway. So we might as well learn, how do we master this? How do we learn how to save a fortune, make a fortune, and change lives across the globe at the same time? Any more questions? Thank you. By the way, thank you so much. Oh, great stuff, Lorna. Wonderful. I apologize that I can't keep up with the chat. I think you can all see that oh no, the chat you can't actually. Right, the chat is coming to me. The chat's going absolutely mental. Okay, the chat's going absolutely mental. That's why, apologies, I can't get back to you. Some of you are saying, how is it 27 cents per day? 197 divided by 2 divided by 365. That's how it's 27 cents. So many lovely comments. Lourdes, unfortunately, it doesn't fit my budget. Lourdes, look, you might need some tough love. You might need some tough love. You have to, if at this point in your life you're not earning the amount of money that you'd like, the truth of the matter is you're not adding the value to the planet that's paying you the amount you would like. So you need to learn, how do you add more value to you? You don't have to do it with me, right? But I'm just telling you, the world is a mirror, and you're financially being rewarded for the amount of value you're adding to the world. I'm just telling you, you're not going to be, if the value you want to add to the world is around helping people around the internet, around social media, how to buy anything and sell anything to anybody in the world, you won't get anything for cheaper than 197, and also has a 3-pay option. But genuinely, Lord, have a sit down and have a think, how are you ever going to get out of those financial issues if you don't learn how to add value to yourself? And I'm not saying that you're in a pity party mode, but many times people start to feel sorry for themselves and get turned into victim mode. You've heard all weekend the importance of saying everything that's happened in your life is your fault, right? Own it, take responsibility. And with that comes such freedom, and thinking, well, you know what? That means everything from now on is down to me, right? Because then you finally take over, you're in the driving seat. And by the way, the reason why some of us coaches are a little bit harsh that way is because sometimes when you're an adult and when you're a parent for too long, you stop listening to others, right? And we get into the zone of being a parent and telling children what's best for them, when we know ourselves we're not doing what's best for us, okay? So it's time for some self-love, and that comes down to just, you know, put yourself first, invest in yourself, because that's how the world will invest back in you. The more value you add, the more the world will add value to you. Oh my God, so many people so excited. Lord, I hope that doesn't come across as too harsh, but I know if it doesn't land with you, it will make sense to other people, and they'll say, "Look, I needed to hear that, Paul. I needed to hear it. I needed to hear it." In 2009, when I was in there, corporate guy, thinking I knew everything, hundreds of thousands in debt, thought I knew everything. Somehow the world was the problem, the bank was the problem, the economy was the problem. I was definitely not the problem. I can't afford any of these things. And suddenly you realize every single day, I'm so grateful that for one moment I set my ego aside and said, look, it's all about value exchange, right? If you're not willing to pay for something, you're not going to get, no one's going to invest back in you. So invest in yourself, right? Invest in you, and whatever that is. As I say, I genuinely, doesn't have to be me. You've got lots of choices, but make sure that you pick something that resonates with you. And at the end of the day, do all the visualizing you want, do all of the vision boards that you want. They're not going to put money into your bank account. So at some point, you're still going to need to learn the skill of what do I do? What can I learn that allows me to add value to the planet? For me, it's learning, how do I sell anything to anybody, anywhere, at any time? Because we all understand how to buy stuff. Here's the thing. That first time you went to buy something on the internet, you probably messed up. Your credit card might have timed out, right? You might have said, oh, did you say, that's it? I give up on the internet forever. Did you? Hell, you said, if this is coming down to me spending money, I'm not going to stop until I get rid of it, right? If you took that same attitude to the internet when it comes to making money, right, there's no stopping you. Again, I want you to commit to you, right? I want you to commit that you are not going to stop until this works. So type in, I commit, everybody. This is your countdown day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's lift off together. Let's have an amazing time. It's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it. You're already on the internet, but it's time to rethink it. I'm going to give you a final piece of advice. Don't go around the house this evening like the king or the queen, right? Say, hey, I know everything. You know nothing. Losers, right? Let your results do the talking, okay? You know, everybody is on their journey. It doesn't make you any better or worse. Doesn't make them any better or worse. I find that you keep your goals private. I know some people say the opposite. I say, keep them quiet. Wait until the results do the talking. Then people will ask you anyway. And just before I wrap up, just in case I forget, I want to thank Brian and everybody at Real Success, Candice, Gerard, who's been managing all of this in the background, because this stuff doesn't happen by accident, right? So if you don't mind typing into the chat, everybody, thank you, Real Summit, Real Success team, because they have made this possible for you. And let me answer any additional questions. Remember what I said, if you're having difficulties with payments, just put your name and email address and phone number in the chat. It's all private so that we can follow up with you. So let's see, any last questions right now? And Saj or Candice, if you have any questions, just let me know.